Okay, so this is the builder commentary for the Yamato house that was built on our Conan server. We're playing on an official PS4 Conan Exiles server, and this is the building that I sort of built as a pet project. This is a in-between path between where the obelisk is located over by what we call the Cinnamon Base, the Sumerian city. There's an obelisk there, and if you head south from that location, if I can pull up the map to help show that, when you head south from there and you head towards the east, there's going to be a series of waterfalls right along the way here. So if you ever want to build, there's this waterfall over here, and then behind there, upriver, is a set of dual waterfalls as well. That has a very similar look to this. And you're right underneath the Nordheimer watchtowers. And Circle of Swords is just to the north of you here. Overall, the weather itself is always this overcast, kind of a dreary, cloudy, kind of outcrop, but sometimes it rains, sometimes you get thunderstorms. Relatively peaceful. There's no bosses or anything else that's around this immediate area, though you do have a lot of those non-hostile deer that spawn on the other side. Bull originally built this bridge in order to more easily transport thralls and other things across to the new base location, which is just down the road past the bridge itself. But this is built in the Greek-Roman Agoizin style. It's an interesting word that they have for it. But it's a combination of that. I believe it's the Decado DLC that the rope bridges come from. And this is going all the way down into the water, so if I can submerge myself for a second, you can see that it is going down to the foundation of the water as well. So, as I mentioned briefly, the road this way goes towards our new base location. I think at a later date I'll have Bull record his thoughts on that building. This originally design was meant to be more of an even number of foundations across. This is actually a side entrance that turned into a main entrance. Because of the closeness to the water line, I actually ended up reducing that to 3, so it's a bit more compact than I originally had envisioned. The idea was to have a bit of an elevated walkway to get into the building, and you have the awnings that stretch over it to give cover. One unfortunate aspect of the Japanese DLC, the Yamatai DLC, is that there's no Zen Garden or Rock Garden or anything else that you could place. That was one of the things I hoped they'd add in so that you'd be able to place something in the back here. But in lieu of that, you have an actual water then feature. So instead of a rock garden, water garden, it's just pure river. The whole thing is an awning covered, so you're able to enjoy the view out this way. We have some neighbors downriver from us who've actually built a series of boats. We call them the boat people. But that band, War Band, they are quite friendly. Maybe at some point I'll see if I can record a commentary with them. The actual decorations themselves are a mix of the Yamatai Japanese DLC and the Kitten Chinese DLC. So you end up with things like this, where the banner itself, it thematically works, but it's the wrong color. And also, I guess, quote-unquote language is incorrect as well. Going to the door, the concept behind this guest house is that it'd be also a bit of a meeting house. So you have this nice center table, which has a combination of drinks, platters, and also some notes, just in case anyone wanted to jot down their thoughts or plan for upcoming places, visits, whatever have you. This is, again, doors that open out into the back to the view of both the water, and also over here a view of the waterfall itself. Going back into the house, there we go. We've got 2 little planters here. These are of the lupin variety, and lupin I like because it has a sort of a bonsai look to it, but it also doesn't have the brightness, the bright green of the hops plants that they have in the game. So I thought that would be a nice little touch there. Generally speaking, the house itself is symmetrical along this axis. So the centerpiece on the first floor is the fireplace, which has a nice elk head display on top of it, 2 Yamatai shields, and the 2 rare weather-resistant shields. So on this side, it's I believe this is Mistborn shield. Check that really fast. Yes, this is the Mistborn shield, and over on this side, it's the Soul Spell shield. Yep. So one's a very hot resistant and the other's a very cold resistant shield. The lamps that are on top of the fireplace, those are from the Turian DLC, that's the Middle Eastern DLC. And the walls themselves, all of the architecture elements here are from the Yamatai set. The Chinese lanterns that are used to hang from the top, those are actually part of the East DLC, so that's, again, the Kitten Chinese DLC. As you can see, we've did some weapon display racks for bows, arrows, whatever, that gives it a bit more atmosphere, a bit more life. Added in also some paintings on the sides to help fill up the room a bit. The nice contrast between the whiteness of the walls and also the wood look of the walls and the fences, they work well both whenever there is an element placed in them and also when they are bare. So you'll see that contrast when upstairs. This is the mezzanine half levels where I keep the weapons and tools, large chests with healing supplies. The other side are keys and miscellaneous supplies. Coming up to the bedroom space, you'll see here the walls are left more bare, and it's to contrast nicely between private space and public space. So I've decided to leave the ceilings uncovered so you can see the ceiling joists of the level above, and it gives it a nice double-heighted, triple-heighted vaulted space to give more air into that living area. There are 2 chairs here flanking a fireplace that's similar to what's downstairs, but this is on a much smaller scale. There aren't multiple shields, it's just the 2 sets of shields. There aren't the lamps and the other accoutrements that you'll find downstairs. We use the kitten carpet a lot. Again, the my DLC didn't come with a carpet. So there's a nice little writing desk seating area where there's a drinking horn, left some journals and other things for anyone to write in. And then over here is the actual bed itself for the guest house. So the views outside, there's multiple doors, multiple ways of getting out. You have your little terrace levels you can get from here. Look out towards the waterfall from this perspective. Or you could open up the door, look back towards the road, the bridge, towards the boat people. And then our base would be back here. The main base is down this way. And then over here, we have just a nice outdoor area, which can be turned into a bit of a short seated area. But also it's just a viewing platform where you can see the waterfall clearly and the ruins of an old outpost. That's actually a feature that's built into the game. We didn't build that. So. But generally this was picked because of how nice and peaceful and the multiple different views that it affords. You have this nice view coming down this direction. You can see the circle of swords from here. And also on this side you can see the waterfall. Some other detailing in here. I do have another set of swords and weapons racks up on top. And that's just more to give it a little bit of character. But I did decide to leave on this side everything else bare. A little dancer to help remove the corruption problems that you have when you're fighting obelisks and skeletons and so forth. Some wine racks to suggest that this is more of a private space. And this is where I keep the bear, just to remind me that that's where she's located, versus all the other fighters that are located down the first floor. But yeah, that is my very short tour of the guest house, the Yamatai guest house. And this has been my pet project in Conan Exiles while we've been playing. It's not part of the main base, that's further down the road. And we also have another base by, again, the Cinnamon City, the Sumerian obelisk over in the north as well. So I'm going to end this with just a very quick 360 of the house, and I'll cut the video afterwards. This is one of the nicer rare days where it's not raining, but it really is either this overcast sky or rain. Those are really the two weather conditions here. You never really see any sun, which I guess if you're going for that Seattle vibe, yeah, you got it here. You definitely have it here.